it's time for a daily print. We drink a lot of loose tea. Tea goes into the drawer in the kitchen, something we can serve from easily, a lot of little containers. But the overflow gets stuffed in a cabinet. And we have used up to this point, this discard from the design process for my filament dry boxes. This was the mounting surface. It hung on the printer. And this was a design that had the boxes going in vertically, pushing back and kind of locking out to the side a bit. Overly complicated, not the way I ended up going. And so this was a discard, and we grabbed it and used it when we needed to stuff these in. I'm going to make a purpose-built box that's going to fit them better. That will be today's daily print. So there's nothing particularly complicated about this design. Here it is finished. I'm going to go ahead and put a breakpoint in up top. And let's bring this first sketch and make it visible again. So it's just a rectangle, 356 millimeters long by 126 wide. 356 is just under the 360 that fits on my printer. And then I would extrude these sides up, the two sides, not the ends. And I began going in and trimming these endpoints on these rectangles. So these little flanges, almost like brackets, I drew this first one here, just drew two rectangles, and then selected them as objects, and then used the linear pattern to bring them down all the way to here. About 36 millimeters between them, 8 of them stretched over the distance that's centered. Anyway, I need to extrude this up, and on this side I needed to also take away these ends to extrude it, and I had used the center line to mirror these small bracket pieces over to the other side. I wasn't thinking straight. I didn't need to do any of that. All I need to do is make this one side and mirror the whole thing. Anyway, so moving on, insert the breakpoint. So I went ahead and extruded this one side and then took its top and moved it out 6 millimeters so that this ends up having a bit of an angle out, which is what I wanted. And then that could just get mirrored over to the other side. So there are my two sides. The ends I didn't want to have tipping out. So I then sketched above, and that sketch is not visible. I sketched above it, and these rectangles then at the ends I could extrude down. And so those got extruded down on each end. And of course they came down straight, so they're a rectangle, but these pieces they're forming the ends for have a bevel, have an angle. So then, and I was not in the top of the game today. I messed around here a bit and kind of screwed it up, but what it amounts to is I deleted those extra bits by using these outer surfaces as the cutting plane, selected the ends, said split this on that plane, and then cut them off each corner. Pretty quick. And with the chamfer too, that was it. That's the whole design. Okay, next up, slicing. I'm going to take the design and drop it into Prusa Slicer. And I sized it so it just barely fits on the flex plate on the print bed. That's fine. I don't seem to have turned this all into one unified object the way I intended, but I just went ahead and told Prusa to treat it as one object. It's already sitting flat on the bed. There's really nothing I need to do to this. So I'm going to use a 0.4 nozzle because that's what is installed, and Overture PLA Pro, which is the PLA I use most often. And I've got a profile for it, which has got a shrink compensation factor in it. So my prints come out actually very, very close to the actual sizes. 12 hours and 50 minutes. And because of a outage at the moment with the network, I'm going to export the code and get it onto the printer a bit more manually than normal. So I'm going to export the G-code and save. And that's really it. Okay, I'm going to quit Prusa Slicer completely. I'm not going to use the connect portion of it because, as I said, there's a network issue. I will load this up to the printer and get it started. And then be patient. That's it for now. I woke up to the print being finished. perfect print, no problems at all. So let's see how well it fits with a tea bag. Okay, I'm not surprised to find that the side structures that were potentially going to be rails that individual tea bags slid into, and then this would hold 8 tea bags in a very orderly fashion. That was kind of a silly idea, and as it turns out, the box is a touch too wide for that even to have a chance of working. So it will give a little bit of resistance for bags falling over when the box isn't full, and I'm going to take that as a accidental win and say this is done. And the hope is that every bag of tea that we have at the moment, loading it while holding it up to the camera is not perhaps the easiest way to load it. Anyway, hopefully this will hold all our bags of tea. Yep, just about 2 that went on the floor I'll add to it. And there we go. Tea box for the cabinet. Thanks for watching.